How's it going? Welcome back. Got a special PSA submission video. All the cards in this submission gonna be vintage baseball. Everything ranges from 55 to 59, so a lot of old stuff. I ended up purchasing a whole bunch of cards from a person. It's the biggest deal I've ever done, so kind of nervous. But I'm thinking as long as the grading goes well, I should do all right. But yeah, it's always nervous doing a bigger card deal. But this is one that I thought is super cool. Just a ton of sweet old cards, some famous names and stuff like that. And the condition overall was pretty decent. Some cards were really bad, and then some cards were surprisingly really good. So it's kind of all over the map. Some of them had like tape on them and stuff like that. Some big name cards like that, because these were all original cards to their family. So they'd been around for 70 years, which is kind of cool. I mean, they really kind of tell a story, but a lot of cool cards. So we'll kind of go through them here. I'll kind of go with my grade approximations, which never seem to be right. So start off with a 1955 Al Kaline. Kind of some rougher corners around the edges and stuff like that. A lot of these cards, though, that I kind of went through, very clean. At least I took a microfiber to them, wiped off whatever I could. There's a little bit of gunk and stuff like that you can usually get off with a little hot breath and microfiber. So we cleaned them up as much as possible, kind of detailed them up. But corners, creases, stuff like that, there's nothing you can really do about that. Some of these cards just have that wear from actually being looked at and played with and traded and stuff like that, so it's kind of cool. So 1955 Al Kaline, rough corners, off-centered, thinking probably a 4 on that one. These are all going through PSA too. I know some people like to do SGC. BGS kind of fell off. SGC is really good for vintage cards and stuff too. So Yogi Berra, another 1955. This one's got a little bit of, actually, sorry, these are 56. This is 55. This is 56. Names on the top, 55's names on the bottom. Still got kind of the in-action shot, the portrait. This one's got a little bit more surface issue, corners. I'd probably say about another 3 or a 4 on this one. I'm very conservative on my guesses. Been burned too many times in the past from PSA. This is one of my favorite ones out of the set. This is a 1956 Jackie Robinson. Overall surface is actually pretty solid on this one. Corners and edge wear. Every corner is a little rounded. All the edges are a little chipped up. But overall, still a super cool card. I'd be really happy with a 3 on this, 3 or a 4. Off-centered on it. But for a 70-year-old card, I think it's just a really sweet looking card. A lot of history with that card right there. This one's in pretty good shape. This is a 56 Ernie Banks. Really nice card, top to bottom. Off-centered a little bit, nothing too crazy. 60-40 maybe on the right to left. Really good looking card though. Back is in really nice shape. And these 56s, see, you had options either gray back or white back. And actually the lower number, gray back, is actually more rare. I think it's card 1 to 100 are typically white back, 100 to 180 are typically gray back. So the lower number gray back, a little bit more rare, nothing too crazy, but I learned a lot about this stuff as I kind of went through it and did more research on it after I purchased it. So I'm hoping this gets, I'm hoping for like a 6 on this one actually. This is a really nice looking card. Hoping for a 6. We'll go with 6. 56 Warren Spahn. Another really nice looking card. A little bit off-centered left to right. Probably another 60-40. Overall surface looks good. Corners actually look really good on this one. There's that white back on those lower numbers. And this card probably didn't get played around with a whole lot. Just kind of sat in a shoebox its whole life. This one, I would say a 7 on this one. I'd honestly go 7 or 8. I mean, surface wise, I don't think there's really anything. And those corners for how old it is are insane. Like, it's just crazy to think that that card didn't get dropped or beat up or anything like that over the years. And Warren Spahn was a pretty solid name. You see kind of more wear, like on the Sandy Koufax, obviously one of the best pitchers of all time. You see all the edge dings. These cards back in the day, the cuts were just rough, so you can really see on those, the edges, how they can be. I'd say this more of a 3 or a 4 right here. But overall, really nice looking card still. Just some, those corners are just, they hurt you so much. All right, those were 56s. Then we go to 57. And I kind of try to set these up. So sometimes what you can kind of do, you can kind of play mind games with PSA. So if you have a card that you're really not expecting to grade real well, like this Pee Wee Reese, really off-centered, got some rounded corners. It's kind of like a setup pitch. You put a worse card in front of a card that you already know isn't going to kind of grade well, but you want that next one to be better. So hopefully, I don't know if it really works. I feel like it sometimes does, sometimes doesn't. Could just be in my mind. But if you give them this and they kind of set the standard of this being a 2 or a 3, which with that off-centering, a little bit edge wear, stuff over here. So you're like, okay, you get a 2 or a 3. Well, then you get to your next card, which I set up with a Ted Williams. It's got a little bit of edge corner issue right here. We got it's kind of hard to see, but some scuff corners and stuff like that, a little off center, but hoping, I think the quality of this card, the picture quality, the surface, the centering, all that's better. So say if that one gets a 2 or a 3, they're like, well, I got to give this something a little bit better. So maybe it gets a 4. Maybe it gets a 5. I don't know. But it's kind of a little setup thing. It's a little thing you can kind of do. I've heard some people talk about having good luck doing that. Like, you always put something that you know isn't going to grade well right off the bat. If you're kind of like, oh, this thing's got a little ding in the corner, a little issue, a little surface scratch, something like that, you're like, all right, we set this up as the lead off, and it'll hopefully set you up for better grades down the line. You got 2 of these, both kind of right around the same. Mini Minosos. Little corner issues, centering issues, but overall, surface looks pretty solid. I'd hope for some mid grades on these, maybe 4s or 5s. 4s or 5s. I'm so used to doing like modern cards, it's really hard to kind of come up with grades with these old cards. It's sometimes, I feel like they do grade on, I mean, these 57s, you know, the cutting technology and stuff just wasn't there, so you're going to get edge issues. You're not going to get a card out of this that's going to look like a brand new Topps Chrome card. It's just not going to happen. So getting a higher grade on some of these, like if you saw a new Topps Chrome card and it compared to something like this and you had the edges in the corners, I mean, I feel like a Topps Chrome is going to be a 2, where you could maybe pull a 4 or 5 out of something like this. So it's all kind of relative. This one I think had some corner creases, a little bit of off-center corner issues, definite edge issues on those 57s. And I did my best like matching them up to other 57s and stuff, because there's a whole shoebox full of cards, tons and tons of commons, but size-wise, I mean, I don't think they were trimmed or anything like that. Those rough edges just come straight from the factory. But I'd say about 5 on the Spawn. Luis Aparicio. This one's probably a 4 or a 5. Kind of rounded corners, little surface issues, surface skiffs. Now, again, use this one as kind of a little setup card. A little off-centered, little corner issues, little surface smudges. So then the next card, 57 Mickey Mantle, hopefully grades higher. Pretty solid corners, a little bit more so of a corner issue up on the top, a little corner fold. The biggest issues on these, like I said, is just edges. Edges on both sides are just chipped. Real chippy edges. Nice back though. This is probably one of the most valuable cards in here. So I'm really banking a lot on hoping that I can get a real solid grade on this one. There's a couple others. That Jackie Robinson was one of the higher end ones. But yeah, I'm really hoping for like a 6 on this. If I can get a 6, anything 6 or higher, I mean, it's gonna be pretty much phenomenal. Because if I can get something like that, then it definitely makes this worthwhile. So really, I just need a couple of these cards to hit big, just to do all right. So it's a new year. We got 58. So we got 58 Killebrew. This was one of the worst ones I'm kind of sending, like condition wise. We got some major corner issue right there, but I wanted to get a Killebrew slabbed. Not looking to sell it or anything like that. This will be the oldest Harmon Killebrew card I have. This one would just stay with me, but again, setup card. It's a Hall of Famer though. Color wise, I mean, the picture looks great. It's a really nice eye appeal card, even if it gets a lower grade. Centering's great, eye appeal's great. Just a really nice looking card. Again, it's a setup card though. Same with this Orlando Cepeda. A lot of edge issues, corner issues. Got some more edge issues up top. A little bit worse than just the regular. Got some dinged up edges and corners. But again, really nice appeal on this card. Pretty good centering, super vibrant colors. So again, kind of a setup card for the 58 Mantle. So if I can get those two, this one's in pretty solid shape. A little bit of issues with the corners on the bottom, but the corners on top are pretty solid. And then obviously the centering issue, but again, vibrant colors, nice good picture. Not much in terms of damage or anything to the surface of the card, so that's a really nice card right there. So I got the 57 and the 58 Mantle. So that's another one of those big cards that I really need to hit. And if they hit, then it's just gravy. So I'm super happy if they do. This one's a Roger Maris rookie card. Same set. Again, maybe a little less on the surface quality on this one. Little blemishes here and there. Edge-wise, kind of about the same boat. This one might be a little bit worse. Just rounded corners. But overall, pretty solid. A little bit off center, 60-40, I'd probably say, right to left. But rookie card, it's another real nice card out of this set. Hoping for, so if we going 5 or 6 on the Mantle, I'm really going 5 or 6 on the Maris too. Kind of what my guess is. So we'll see how happy or nice the graders are that day. This one's a real nice looking card. 58 Yogi Berra. I was surprised how just clean these 58s looked. Little corner issue down there, little rounded corner. Overall, 60-40 again on the centering, maybe a little bit more. A little bit of an edge issue on this side. But overall, nice looking card. Probably say a 4 on that one. This Brooks Robinson, besides the picture just being a terrible looking picture. It's like you just smelled a terrible fart. But the card itself, in really solid shape. Centering's not great, but the surface, edges, corners, all look pretty good. Hoping for a 6 or 7 maybe on that one. Brooks Robinson. Another nice card all around, minus the centering, is the 58 Whitey Ford. So if you notice, all the cards I'm doing here are all Hall of Famers. Some of it's pretty early career or rookies on some, but again, the centering is going to bring this one down. Probably 6. Just hard to overcome that massive centering issue, but probably say 6 on that one. If you notice, I mean, that's kind of the main issue with this set is corners seem to hold up pretty well. The surface looks great on them. It's just centering is just brutal. It's got a 58 Mini Minoso. Beautiful looking card. Corners are great. A little bit of edges maybe on the bottom. Nothing too crazy though. Centering though, it's like 90-10. Right to left. Probably a 4 or a 5 on that just because of the centering. Got a Richie Ashburn. A little bit more surface issues on that. You can see kind of the whitening on the surface. Just where the colors faded. Whether it was just bad printing at the time or just worn out over time. Doesn't look like it got a lot of play or anything like that. A lot of hand around the corners and edges still look pretty solid, but real bad with the centering surface. Probably a 4 or 5. Got a Billy Martin. It's one of the probably best looking cards. That's kind of what got me to throw it in. I don't think it's the later year card for Billy Martin. So he's 30 years old in this card. But surface quality looks great. Edges look great. Even the centering's pretty good. 55-45, maybe 60-40. Real solid looking card. Hoping for a 7 on that one. I mean, if I got something like an 8 on any of these, I'd be thoroughly ecstatic. It was a really nice one. Frank Robinson. Again, good color, good clarity. A little off center. Pretty much bottom to top on this one. Little edge or corner issue up there. So that'll definitely ding it down, but probably 4 or 5 on this one. I just love how just clear and vibrant these cards are. We got a 59. Again, kind of a setup card. So if you look, another Frank Robinson. A lot of surface issues all along here. Corner issues. Card surface. A little bit more gunk on the card down here. So the setup card, Frank Robinson for the 1959 Hank Aaron. Solid looking card. A little surface wear, just kind of a little bit more dingy, faded almost. A little bit of issues on the corner down there. But overall, maybe a little, that's on the card right there, that little surface issue. But overall, I feel like it's pretty solid. Hoping for a 5 or a 6. Almost look like, yeah, it almost looks like there's a little bit of kind of wrinkle almost under the surface. You can kind of see it right there when the light hits it just right. So hopefully it doesn't ding it down too much. But I guess we'll find out. That's what the setup card's for. 5 or a 6 on that if we can get that. Pretty happy. And the last card is going to be like a 1 or a 2. It's a 55 Bowman, Willie Mays. I already have a 55 Mantle and a 55 Hank Aaron slab, so this would kind of round out the big 3. But, I mean, it's going to be a 1. It's not going to be great, but I want to get slabbed anyways. That's going to stay with me. That's going right next to the other 2. Sweet looking card though. So yeah, so that's what we're gonna be sending in. Really excited, kind of nervous, but mostly just excited. You never know what you're gonna get with PSA. You might get a grader that's having a great day, or a grader that's having a terrible day. Somebody that's a little bit more harsh on certain things, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Sometimes I have cards that I think are 10s, they come back 7s. Sometimes I have cards that I think are 7s, they come back 10s. So we'll see what they do. We'll have a follow-up video, and we'll kind of go over the grades and see where we're at. Hopefully there's no issues with the cards, but we'll find that out in due time. I'm guessing it's going to be about a month and a half turnaround on this. I'll get it out in the mail. It usually takes about 2 days to get there, so their turnaround's been pretty good. Still waiting on my modern set to get sent back, so hopefully they get this and get it back to me quickly. We'll see where we'll go from there. So have a great day. Talk to you later.